to the very first episode of Tea Time with Sue. I'm your host, Truman State University President Sue Thomas, and in each edition of the show, we will answer a wide range of questions from the weird to the wonderful. Spike, would you be so kind as to serve up the tea? Thank you, Spike. And for this very first episode, we asked Spike to round up some of the most popular questions. For future episodes, questions for Tea Time with Sue can be submitted online at truman.edu/teatime. We'll put the questions in this teapot and answer some during each episode. What is your favorite dining option in the sub? So, while they're all really delicious, I have to tell you, my very favorite one has to be at Einstein's because most of you know I have a horrible sweet tooth and the chocolate chip coffee cake is absolutely to die for. Question 2. Why is the eternal flame never on? Well, I think we have to start with the fact that it's actually not an eternal flame. It's called the flame to the 20th century. And so it's not designed to be on all the time, and I guess you can all imagine with just the little chain rope around it, that it would be easy for people to actually use it as a campfire or to get burned. And so instead we use it for very special occasions such as commencement. Okay, next question. If you attended Hogwarts, where do you think the Sorting Hat would place you? This is actually a very easy one for me to answer because back at the beginning of the academic year, I went and hung out with each of the residence halls and there was a whole question about what house I belonged to. I had no idea because I have to admit I don't really follow Harry Potter much, but everybody told me how to take the quiz and I took the quiz and it turns out that I have been sorted into the Hufflepuff house. So, to all my fellow Hufflepuffs, a big shout out to you. I think we're all fabulous. Question number 4. What was the last thing you binge watched? So, I don't have a whole lot of time to watch TV, so I mostly have to binge watch anything I watch. And so I don't know if it was the most recent, but the one that had the greatest impact on my sleep was Schitt's Creek. I got so into that show that I would literally stay up and watch it till the wee hours of the morning, which for all of you students is probably not a big deal, but I will tell you for me, it's a very big deal to stay up that late. Next question. How would the university decide what to do with the mask policy on November 5th? I think that's a really good question, and I will tell you we are going to stay consistent to what we've been doing the entire time during the pandemic. We will look at all of our metrics, and those include things like the number of cases on campus, if the cases are located in a specific area or with a specific group, our ability to effectively and safely isolate and quarantine students on campus, transmission rates in the county, number of cases in the county, the availability of hospital beds. And we're also looking at a couple of universities have changed or lifted their mask indoor policy. And so we're also taking a look to see what the outcomes they have in terms of their COVID cases after doing that. So we will look at all of those metrics combined and make the decision that is what is in the best interest of the safety of our entire campus. And it looks like the last question. Does Spike live at university residence? So I have to tell you, Spike actually doesn't live at university residence. I mostly live at university residence alone. My kids are grown and my husband has a private practice in neuropsychology in St. Louis. But I actually have to tell you, this actually gives me the opportunity to tell you that I do live in university residence and I do live in Kirksville. I have heard rumors that I commute from St. Louis every day, which for those of you who know, St. Louis is over 3 hours away, so that would be kind of impossible for me to commute that every day. I've also heard that I commute from Columbia. Also not true. Since 2014, when I arrived at Truman, I have lived full-time in Kirksville, Missouri, and I am super proud to call Kirksville my home. So, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this episode of Tea Time with Sue. I hope you'll join me again next time. Remember, if you have a question for the show, go to truman.edu/teatime for a chance to have it answered on a future episode. Thank you to everyone who makes Truman such a special place, including all of our faculty, staff, alumni, friends, and most importantly, our fantastic students. Thank you for watching.